passed immediate end to any help for solar and wind. And I'm the father of the wind energy tax credit of 1992. And when I passed that, I didn't know that it'd be a big thing in Iowa that we get 60% of our electricity from wind. But anyway, they wanted to do away with that. When it got to the Senate, we couldn't buy into that. So we established not as much as what wind and solar wanted to do, although I would have gone that far, but the whole Senate wouldn't go that far. So we extended existing law for 1 year. Now, what you're reading about isn't so much what the law says, because the law says that we want to maintain the status quo and the safe harbor for at least 1 year. Now we're finding that the Secretary of Treasury's trying to write regulation that would undercut that. And presumably, the reason the Treasury Department's doing it is because after we passed the bill, and remember, we only passed it by 1 vote, and if we hadn't had this compromise on wind and solar, we wouldn't have got that 1 vote and we would pass it. But we passed it. Then it goes to the House of Representatives because we amended their bill. They had to pass it again. And then guess what? There were some Republicans didn't like what we did for wind and solar in the Senate, so they went to the White House and said, I'm not going to vote against this bill. And we think the White House said, don't worry, we'll issue regulations that will negate what the Senate did. Now the president is supposed to enforce the laws we pass. And it's very clear in our laws that we meant that what has been the practice for the last 10 years would have to be maintained at least for 1 other year. So in final answer to your question is, 4 or 5 of us in the United States Senate that was involved in this Senate compromise for 1 year are fighting the White House and the Treasury Department to maintain